It's Kerry and welcome to Piece of Paper. Following the previous layout that I did of us collecting and acquiring our pumpkins, this is now Halloween activities. So carving our pumpkins, getting ready to give out the sweets and treats. I made a roast vegetable soup, which is a really amazing recipe, but I put pumpkin in there as well. And then these are our finished pumpkins. Richard did a skull, I did the ghost, Sky did this amazing cat that's meant to be on a moon, and Layla did a crazy face. And then these were some really cool spooky pictures we got as we went out to do our trick-or-treating. There's Sky in her little werewolf outfit. I've got this dark, grungy paper that I'm going to use, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink around the edges here to kind of close it in a bit more. And then I've got some various Halloween themed paper that we're going to use. I've got my multi-purpose mat out, and I've got Secret Sea ink and a blending brush. And it was actually a layout by Chelsea Rose Marty that gave me this inspiration, something she'd done with the Peaceful Garden dies. But I just really liked how it looked kind of spooky as the colours came in. Well, not the colour, the Secret Sea came in around the corner. So I'm just going lightly across the top and then trying to thicken it up around the corners. And now I'm continuing to ink across the 2 pages. I'm starting at the top and then focusing on working down around those corners to give that kind of eerie closed in feeling. You see, I'm starting off the edge of the paper and pulling the ink inwards to try and fade it out, and then gradually evening up across the 2 pages to try to get them both nicely balanced. This is the spooky paper that I've got that I'm going to use for today's layout, and you might notice that it's actually a 6x6 paper, so I've had to be quite creative with how I cut the pieces in order for them to fit. I'm going to start inking up around the edges, and then we'll try and get these both papers down. When you're using smaller pieces of paper, be really mindful about which edges you ink and which ones you don't. Where you're hiding a join, you don't want to ink those edges, because when you ink the edges, it makes the joins obviously show more. So for these ones, I'm just doing that top left. For this purple that goes across, I'll just be doing the top and the bottom, because we're going to have a join on both sides. But I've aimed to cut the purple paper so that the joins are happening behind the photos, so you will still notice them a little bit, but it's fairly well hidden, and if we don't ink the edges, that helps. And then these down here, we just want to do the bottom, the left, right, and I'll do the other side. That's all the edges inked. The one advantage of working in the A4 format like I do is when you've got 6x6 papers, they don't just go halfway across your page. Obviously, they go quite a nice proportion across the page. I'm going to start sticking these papers down. So I add the glue to the back of each of the papers, and as I'm going along to stick them down, I'm working hard to line it up closely with the edge of the base paper, and also using my ruler there, the T-square ruler, to try to make sure that everything is nice and straight. You'll see as I'm sticking in these purple papers, they've got the joins, and I've cut them so that the joins should hopefully be hidden under the photos once they're in place. After I've stuck all the bits of paper down, I'm then going to come back in with my lifting spatula and work along where the edges are overlapping to make sure that everything is tucked in nice and tidily. For this last black piece here at the top, I'm just trying to line up the 2 pictures on the top and the bottom so that it does look like a single piece running the whole way from top to bottom. So that should be over the top. And ideally, let's see, can we just tuck this in here as well? do the same over on this side. So there's the photos, and I think definitely we need black mats across the top, and I'm wondering whether we might go orange mats at the bottom. So I'm going to cut those out and bring them back and we'll have a look. Just put the photos down on the mats. I haven't stuck anything down yet, but I think the black is looking really good. And I actually really like the orange as well. I'm probably going to get those stuck down, and then we will have a think about what our title might be and where our embellishments will go. I've now stuck all the photos down and adhered them to their mats and to the layout. Apart from the picture with the pumpkins on, which I've actually popped into a flip flap. So underneath I'm going to include the journaling, and then I'll be able to stick it down onto the layout, and then underneath you'll be able to see the journaling, and I'm going to put the recipe for the soup on that bottom page there as well. The layout title is going to be Spooktacular, and I'm cutting the title out in orange with a purple drop shadow. I have cut out these spider webs out of a silver cardstock, and I was thinking I would use them as the grounding spots, but I'm not really loving how it's working, so that I'm going to cut out some bits and pieces to use underneath the spider webs as a grounding spot. For the top left hand corner, I'm going to do two little banners sticking out the side. So first off, I'm going to just cut them into the V shape. I can never cut V shapes evenly by going up the middle and going in, but this way you gently fold it and do a snip. It seems to work really well for me, so I'm going to do that for both of these. It's obviously slightly harder when you've got a heavier cardstock. Just try and be as gentle as you can. And a similar little V. As you see, this is some purple pattern paper which matches with the purple on the layout, but I didn't have anything else in orange, so I thought I'll do a bit of stamping on here, make this like my own pattern paper. So I have here 4 bats, and I've rubbed this on my skin to make sure that it is nice and ready to stamp, but we'll always do a practice. Yeah, there we go. Now we finish practicing, let's get to stamping. When you're doing your own pattern paper, you always want to make sure that you stamp off the edge of the shape that you're stamping onto. Just makes it look more realistic and like it's actually a pattern paper, not like you've just stamped onto a shape. I'm going to try and get the smallest ones in over here. I'm going to try and make them go roughly the same direction. Sometimes obviously you would want to rotate your stamps for a more random look, but I think for these bats it makes sense for them to be flying in the same direction. And then I think we'll just do a little bit more in that left hand corner, and then we should be good to go. There we go. Pleased with that. So now I'm going to make like a little gravestone effect to go in on the right hand side. So I'm going to cut it out using this die, cut that off at the bottom, and it looks like a little gravestone. And I've got this stamp here, Happy Boo to You. So I've just been rubbing that on my arm to make sure there's no residue left on it. And I've got paper here that actually matches the blackish textured paper I've got in the background. It's from the same set, but this is a paler grey. And then I've got a post-it note here, which I'm just going to cut in half and then stick that over the happy and the to you. A little orange ink here. So just use the post-it note to shield it. Take them out of the way. And that's coming. Try the orange boot. Yeah, that looks nice. Let's clean up all this orange. Give this a little dry. And then going to use some of this low tack tape to mask off the boot. Should stick a bit better hopefully than these post-it notes did. And we'll go back for our black. There. Right, let's cut out this orange. Just tack this down because you need to be precise. Let's put this through the die machine. Hey, I like that. Would be cute to put that tiny little bat on the top there. Shall we give it a go? Let's give it a go. Hope we don't live to regret it. Eee. And I just want to get my little trimmer out to take the bottom off here so it's square. Okay, so I've prepared all my bits and pieces and I'm going to start sticking them down now. I think we'll start with one of these spider webs. To look like it was coming out of here and here. Okay, and then our little gravestone. Get some tape on here. now. And we've got this little skull that I've kind of put some shading on, so it looks like it's resting there on the side. See, I stuck black on the back so that the eyes won't see through. So put that across the top of the picture as well. Kind of like there. And then one of these little pumpkins is going to go in. Something like that. I just need to make sure it's not going off the edge. Might just have to lift that gravestone back up a smidge. Get the pumpkin in. Actually, I think the gravestone needs to be slightly straighter. That's that side. And then this side we're going to have the cobweb up in that top corner. Right, let's see, can we get it the right way again? Just have to hold this down for the liquid glue to set. And then I've got a little spider here I'm going to put in the web, and she, I'll get some silver twine to be coming for the spider to be hanging on. And then over here I've got the little banana pieces that we made. So we'll start with the orange one with the back paper that we made. Going to go under the white here, and I'll just use a ruler to make sure they're straight. Oh, slightly further out than that. And then the purple one. Just have it coming from the same place as the others, but we'll go for slightly longer. Right, and get the ruler on the case. And then I've cut this one because it's going to go up in there. So let's get some more glue on it. Jesus. And I stamped and fussy cut out this little cat too. We're going to stand here. So you know those two photos. try and put a bit of tape on the middle here just because of it's tricky to stick over the cobweb. So then we've got the pumpkin and the skull, and you can have the pumpkin that side and the skull this side. I've put the journaling on, so this is a flip flap which I'll attach to the outside of the page protector, but I've just tucked it down for the moment. So the journaling is here and the recipe for the soup is there under the flip flap. Then I've also put some gems around. I've used the orange and purple and black, put a couple of gems on the body of the spider and run that silver thread like I said I was going to. So I think that's everything done on this layout. Pick it up so you can have a little look at the gems and the embellishment clusters. You see the silver on the spider web as well. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. If you've liked it, give it a like. Come back and see me again. Until next time, bye bye.